An exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, iTunes, TuneIn, and more, because I'm on a happy 88 mission. 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So I want as many platforms as possible to do that. And I'm so grateful that you're tuned in again. We are almost up to 9 years. May 1st will be 9 years since I've been so shy and coming at you with more hashtag positively opinionated news, balancing out all the bad news out there and wanting to start your day in the most positive way. And today is Compliment Caller and Commercial Tuesday. If you look at the chat, if you're streaming with me, you can actually interact and come in studio if you'd like on Tuesdays and Thursdays so that we can play. And I have a question that I'm going to answer today that came in yesterday, and it is, how do you stay happy when you get triggered by your family? And they actually said family of origin issues. I'm not a huge fan of the, those terms, inner child and all of that. I understand them, but I think that, let's see, my preference is to talk about the moose on the table, or what's real in my mind. That's my Canadian version of elephant in the room. So we're just going to talk about, how to stay happy and who triggers you. And that's going to be after the break. But before we go to break, you all know that I love to start every show, except when I have special important guests, with the tool, the number one tool to keep you happy 88% of the time, which is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So I'm seeing the eyeballs come in. Shout out to Dean Sexton, who's out there in the Inland Empire. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you want to do your own gratitudes, put them in the chat. I'll put them up on the screen, or you can just turn to the person beside you and say what your 8 specific gratitudes are. And I'm going to make Sam, my wonderful sound engineer, participate, as he will do, with 3 gratitudes, and we'll go back and forth, and then I'll tack on another 2, so we'll have 8 in total. So, Sam, are you ready? Sam?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Awesome. We've got a lag with Sam this morning, but it's all good. So I'll start. I'm grateful for my incredible coffee that I get first thing in the morning that is so delicious. And that first sip, there's just that, it's like all my corpuscles get stimulated all at once. And it's such a wonderful feeling and taste. That's my first gratitude. Sam, what's yours?
My first gratitude is having my cell phone and being able to contact people who are not around me anymore, but still want to, be together.
Oh, that's wonderful. I am grateful for technology that allows me to broadcast from my living room instead of driving out to are we in Loma Linda or Riverside or San Bernardino? we moved stations a bit ago, but I don't remember. Sam, where are you? Oh, now we're in Redlands. Okay. Yes, that's a little bit of a drive. So I'm grateful for technology, especially when it works. Oh, that's wonderful. And what's her name? Peace in, peace out to you. Wonderful Sam's mom, Maritas. All right. And I'm grateful for what I get to do. Because even if I wake up and I'm not feeling great, as soon as I start talking about the things that I'm supposed to talk about, I feel better. So I'm really grateful that hope and happiness is my brand and what I like to talk about and what I'm paid to talk about. How's that? Thank you. And now you know why Sam's my sound engineer. I attracted and manifested a sound engineer who is preaching to my choir. And I'll do a compliment now because it is Compliment Tuesday. If you have a compliment for someone, please put it in the chat. You can also call Sam at 909-888-1050 and relay a compliment that you have for someone in your life right now. That's why we do these interactive on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So my compliment is when Sam and I connect, he always asks me earnestly and sincerely how I am and how things are going, which is really wonderful. He doesn't launch into what's going on with him. He takes the minute, the California minute, to ask how I'm doing. And that's such a sweet and nice and caring way to communicate. So there's your compliment, Sam. You're welcome. And thank you for saying thank you. If you missed that, the last time we talked about compliments and people having some difficulty taking compliments, that is the response that I always want all y'all to have when someone pays you a compliment. Not, oh no, it was nothing, or oh yeah, but, or I'm not always this way, but just receive it and say thank you, just like Sam just did. Okay, so I see the eyeballs and I would love to be able to give you a shout out. So go ahead and put your name in the comments if you'd like to actually join me in studio. I've invited some of the hosts at KCAA, and I don't know if anyone's going to come in. If you have a product or service that you would like to give a commercial for, that is also what we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're going to come back and I'm going to answer the question of the day, which is, how do you stay happy when you're triggered by your family? And I don't know anybody that is not triggered by somebody in their family. So if you have a specific example that you want to put in the comment, please do. Otherwise, we'll be right back with my 8-cent opinion about this and give you some advice on how to stay happy even when you get triggered. Here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Gong. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes, body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢.
Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I will.
Want delicious Vietnamese Asian fusion cuisine that is so good for your health you won't believe your taste buds? Olac is a 100% plant-based vegan restaurant founded by Mai on living foods and a love for animals that won't make you sacrifice taste for health. 2 locations to delight you, downtown LA and Fountain Valley. So go to www.olac.com, AULAC, to book your reservation today. Saving the planet has never tasted so good.
Does the news scare you in the morning? I actually take my phone and plug it in outside of my bed, because I know that when I pick it up first thing in the morning, that more often than not, what I'm swiping is not good news. Some of us have forgotten that we can actually use the most powerful tool we have called choice.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, which now has all of my past 676 shows, as well as a red carpet playlist. I've got some new interviews there with Bailiff Bird from Judge Judy, Carol Baskin from Tiger King, and let's see, well, the regular Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, John Paul DiGiorio. So there's a lot to listen and be entertained with. Some really fun interviews. I'm so grateful. It's an occupational hazard that I get to meet some very interesting people. And then those who are beneficial presences on the planet, I invite them to come in studio and have a show with me. So hopefully you'll enjoy those, and feel free to give me the finger on them. Haha. It's a like, not that finger, the thumb. So those are available to you, as well as the past shows. If you missed my interview with Layla Ali, who is an amazing, the youngest daughter of Muhammad Ali. It's a great interview. And coming up, I just got an email from the Cake Bosses PR people. So that's going to be coming up. I have some great interviews with people that I had met at Secret Knock in San Diego coming up. I am also going to give you some pre-recorded while I'm in Canada. I'm going to finally get to go post-COVID. My Chinese mom has Parkinson's, and this is Parkinson's Awareness Month. So I know that you will wish me well while I'm away, but I'm leaving you with a lot of incredible interviews. And I'm still going to try, Sam, to see if I can't get those shows posted so I can interact on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see if I can do that. But that's in May. But before I leave, I am celebrating 9 years on the air. And I have a special surprise guest for that, and I'll keep that a secret. Also, before I forget and we get into the question of the day, I am giving away an Asian Oprah giveaway today, as I promised, which is the audio book of my #1 best-selling book called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. So if you want a copy of the audiobook, then Sam, remind me to give them the code to go on my website to get it. Okay, we'll do that to make you stay till the end of the show. Also, make sure that you go to my website, drmarissa.life, if you want some free happy tips of anything that I've talked about. There you will get it as soon as you join my Happy 88 tribe. And I'm about to send out my Happy Zine that comes out, I try to do once a month. Finally, you saw the promo, Balanced Tai Chi Gong, which is a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. I've been asked to start the class now for about 8 months. I'm finally agreeing and saying, okay, when I get back from Canada, or actually I'm going to do one before I go to Canada, every last Saturday of the month. If you're in Southern California, come to the beach and start your Saturday at 10 a.m. with Tai Chi and Qigong. And it's a practice that a lot of people really love. If you don't want to wait for the class or you're too far, go to my website and just get the download or the DVD. And I promise it's easier than yoga. It is called Chinese yoga, but it's a combination of Tai Chi, Qigong, and a little bit of Dr. Marissa's happiness coaching in between. All right, so ready for the answer to the question of the day. So who triggers you in your family? Yesterday, I was a guest on someone else's podcast, Lisa and her Joy Nation. And that was the question she asked me, which is, a lot of people are doing a lot of work to try to, be happy, be the best version of themselves. And yet, when they go home or they get a call from their mom, there's a trigger and you can get upset and you think that, everything's been forgiven and everything's good, or you try to form a better relationship with someone in your family and they're just not playing ball. You just cannot seem to connect with them in the loving way that you really want to. So how do you deal with that? So anybody want to raise their hand if they have issues like that? It could be someone other than your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your kids, your grown kids, your teenager, your uncle, someone in your family, your grandmother, grandfather, who just knows how to push those buttons. All right. So I'm going to assume that you know what, I got a bunch of thumbs up. So definitely I'm preaching to some choir who knows what I'm talking about. So what do you do? So I'll use my personal example. It's my mom. And if it's not one thing, it's your mother. And there's only 2 times in life when you do not have mother issues: when you're born and when you die. So it is very, it's normal. It's happens a lot that moms seem to bring out the best and the worst in you. And as both a daughter and a mom, I can tell you that it doesn't skip generations. It's something that we just keep working on. And my thing is, I just need to do better than my mom did. I can't fix everything, but those people who come to me for happiness coaching and I ask them, how do you want to be in life? And they say, as long as I'm not like my mom, I just don't want to be like my mom. And my response is, that's setting up some pretty unrealistic expectations, because let's face it, your mom is your primary role model, and you're part of her DNA, even if you're adopted. You of course are going to be like your mom in some ways. So one, cut yourself some slack. If you find yourself or hear yourself saying some things that you promised you would never say because your mom said those things, it's okay. Now, it's okay 12% of the time. The majority of the time, we're going to try to do better than what we know we don't like. So that's one. Number two, I know that I fell into this camp before I wrote the book, before I found a way out with my happiness coaching on myself, which is, moms do, like everybody else, the very best that they can. I know that sounds like therapy, and it is, because I choose to believe that my mom couldn't do better than the things that she did to hurt me. Calling your child fat, ugly, and clumsy is not what moms should do, but a lot of the things that she would say that really sliced me were really part what she got from her mom, part Chinese culture, which has a little bit of funny, I call it the Oriental charm, where they tell you exactly what it is with no sugarcoating. I can remember when I was breaking out from a birth control pill, and I went to a restaurant that I went frequently, a Chinese restaurant, and the waitress looked at me and said, "What's wrong with your face?" And that's just, that's just the way it is. So my mom would say, you're fat and you're ugly as a negative motivation to try to get me to not eat so much and not and be more careful. So it's not excusing what she did, but it's a little bit of understanding what she did, and also to give myself the break of not being angry with her. So when someone triggers you and you're angry and you're not happy, the ultimate damage is not to them, it's to you. And I think I've said this before, Sam, but this is like a point that I absolutely cannot say enough, is that we don't really understand the power of forgiveness, because we think that forgiveness means giving someone permission to be horrible. And it's not. For me, forgiveness is loving myself enough to not be sitting in anger, resentment, bitterness, yucky, horrible, low-flying vibration, low energy, negative thinking, negative feeling. That's forgiveness. Forgiveness for me is saying, you know what? I don't want to feel this way anymore. So how do I not feel this way anymore? I can't change someone's bad behavior, but if I can accept it, say they're doing the best that they can. If they could do better, they would, but they can't. Cut them some slack, because I'm not perfect either, and they're in their 12%. 88% of the time, they're good. 12% of the time, they suck. 88% of the time, I'm pretty nice, I'm pretty kind, I'm pretty caring, and 12% of the time, I'm not. And so I'm going to cut myself some slack and give them the benefit of the doubt that if they could do better, they would. Does that make sense? Now, specifically for mothers, excuse me, I'm on a roll. Specifically for mothers, One of my teachers, Edwin Gaines, who is a frequent speaker at Agape, where I get my positive roots watered and my peace of mind fertilized, founded by my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. She will say that mom's only job is to pop you out. That is a pretty powerful statement. And I just cut the sign. I'm over break time. Sorry, Sam. So I will finish this off when we come back for the rest of answering caller questions, compliments, and commercials here. Please come back and I'll finish that as well as give you the Asian Oprah giveaway here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Want to find happiness? Well, it's looking for you. 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are by Dr. Marissa Pay is a self-help book on steroids with practical concepts and exercise that will help you find the love you've been looking for inside yourself. It's a cross between I'm okay and you're okay, and you're still okay. And if you do the exercises, you will never hate yourself the same way again. For an autographed copy of this #1 bestseller, go to www.drmarissa.life or just order at Target, Walmart, and Amazon today. You can choose happiness because pain in life is mandatory, but suffering is optional.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Podchaser, Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, TuneIn, Tiki Live, Rumble, and more. And welcome to this show about hope and happiness where there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show called Your Life and how to be happy 88% of the time. And if you're new to the show and wondering why I keep using eights, eight's a lucky number. In Chinese, it's a homophone for good fortune. And I'm here to tell you that you have a birthright to be happy 88% of the time. 8 stands for good fortune, so it's a double good fortune that you can be happy. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I give you some Happy 88 tools on how to do just that with some normal things that keep us unhappy. And today's question is about family triggers, especially the ones from mom. And I meant to start with one of my favorite sayings from Eckhart Tolle, who says, if you think you're enlightened, spend a week with your family. So no matter how spiritual you are, no matter how balanced you are going to get triggered if you are breathing and if you're alive and human. So I'm preparing myself as I tend to do, and then use what I'm preparing to make it into some helpful tips, hopefully. So I'm about to go home for 2 weeks to visit my mom who has Parkinson's and is not doing that great. And so, because of COVID, I haven't been able to go. And I know that as much as I love my brother and my mother and all of that, I know that she's probably going to say something that is going to trigger me. And so how do we stop getting triggered? And I think the first thing is to understand that we will always get triggered. I mean, the only time we're not going to get triggered is when we're dead. And Sam in his gratitudes was talking about the appreciation of our emotions. So we are emotional beings. So things like irritation and annoyance are normal, and it's okay. And we don't have to feel bad when we get triggered. The trick is not to stay there for too long, because if the trigger into anger doesn't get soothed, then that will move on to hostility, revenge. We're gonna be really good at the art of annoyance, which I don't want you to be good at. So the trick here is recognize the trigger, take a deep breath through the nose, release the mouth, and then the tool I gave you before the break. Everybody does the best that they can. If they could do better, they would, but they can't. The next tool, forgiveness, not forgiving them, but forgiving so that you can feel better, and allowing them to be in their 12%. Not because we are not always perfect, and just allowing them and giving the benefit of the doubt. If they had thought about it, they wouldn't have said that, or if they thought about it, they wouldn't do that. So that's on their end. On our end, some people will say to me, yeah, but they're always like that, right? They always do that. They know what triggers me, and they push that button on purpose. And I don't like it, and I'm tired of it, and I just can't stand it. And so I'm just going to cut them out of my life. They shouldn't have done what they did to me as a child. They shouldn't have said what they said. How dare they? They're dead to me. And I have to be honest that when I grew up, I've been very open with some childhood trauma, like 7 out of 10 of us do. It seems like it's easier just to cut people out of your life. It seems like it would be more helpful if we never saw them again, because then they couldn't say anything or do anything to hurt us. The only issue is that you're still going to think about them, and you're still going to ruminate, or you're still going to hear things. So you're still going to, have something happen. So wouldn't it be better? It's your choice, but it is better, in my view, to work on my own ability to maneuver and soothe myself and care about myself in a way that I can still interact with that person, but not hurt myself. So I'll give you an example. I used to call, and she would say something like, are you still eating too much? Or are you really need to lose some weight? Or, you really, I told you you're going to be 200 pounds if you keep eating or drinking. And when she started that, I used to take the phone and just put it away from my ear and pretend to listen and just let her run out of steam, and then say, okay, bye, Mom, love you. And I realized that was still like allowing or not protecting myself. So I didn't say, screw you, Mom, or that's, you shouldn't be saying that. Stop saying that. How can you say that? I would just say, hey mom, I'm sorry, I gotta go, or I'm getting a call, or I have somewhere that I need to be. Have a great day, I love you, and then hang up. And that helped me be able to still, and then if I was really triggered, I would call a friend and vent. Now, vent partnering is a tool that I use often because there are times when it's easier for me to let something go if I verbalize it and get it out. But once I get it out, the rule is you cannot talk about it again. And that's where a lot of us fall down, is we vent and it becomes a habit of complaining. That's why I have the 21-day fast from complaining on my website for you to practice and join as an activity, because venting becomes a complaining habit if we continue to talk about the same thing that bothers us with more than one person. So pick a vent partner, someone who times you literally for 2 minutes and allows you to say blah, 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 blah. And if they aren't bothered by swear words, go ahead and use whatever language is comfortable for both of you. But the rule is at 2 minutes, she'll say, stop. I have a vent partner, Jennifer Ross, who I met many years ago when we were at the Miss World Hemisphere, and she had won the year before. She was there to crown the new winner, and I was in the competition and came in top 10, which I'm grateful for. And so she's my event partner, and I will just, when I was frustrated with my 5G Verizon that sometimes is not working when I'm broadcasting, and that's sometimes you hear an echo, that's what happens. So I was venting to her, and then once I got it out, I felt better. And I did not repeat it to anyone else. So that's a tool that I hope you use in order for you to vent and then allow yourself the freedom to choose to focus on something that is more positive. If you can focus on something positive about your mom or whoever's triggering you, that's really giant exercise muscle. If you can't do that because they're just pissing you off and your piss-offedness is not able to be breathed through or accepted through, then pick someone else who is easy to find something positive about and compliment. Then you are able to get back to your natural feeling, good feeling self. Yes, Abraham Hicks. Abrahamers will recognize that language, so that you can stop feeling so angry and bitter and resentful, because none of those feelings are good for you or your health. So does that help with the understanding of how to soothe yourself when you get triggered, and then having less expectation? So let's go back to that. I talked about that with it being gangs. Your mother's only job is to pop you out. We live in a world and in a society that really hypes up and greases expectations of parents and moms. Thank you for the thumbs up. Somebody liked that comment or that tool. Excuse me. We seem to have these really unrealistic expectations of moms. And I remember growing up, my friends would say, oh, my mom's my best friend. And, oh, my mom thinks I'm the best thing since, whatever. And she thinks I'm beautiful. And I would be like crying inside, because I grew up where Fat, Ugly, and Clumsy were the theme song from my mom. And as I explained before break, she got that from her mom. And it's part of the negative motivation that she was practicing for me. But it was this very unrealistic expectation of what moms are. And especially since 7 out of 10 of us have grown up with childhood trauma, and much of it does come from parents who just don't know any better. We have unrealistic expectations of our parents. I really believe that if we could change our BS, our belief systems about parenting and trying to correct relationships with our parents because we are so critical of them because they don't meet that standard of being, your biggest fan and your best friend. A lot of us don't even have anything remote to that. So if I can let go of that expectation, and if we were harmed as children by our parents, if I can really say, I didn't like what they did, and I didn't deserve what they did or said, but they really did the best that they could. It's not easy, and it's not simple. It sounds simple. It's not simple. But I promise you, and this is part of the work that I do and the happiness coaching that I do and the exercises in the book that I'm going to give away at the end of the show, it is so freeing to allow yourself not to be mad at your parents anymore. I promise that if you can make that decision, not to drag all of that emotional baggage from your past about your parents into your present and allow that what happened happen. And then, this is advanced now. I don't know if you can do it, but this is advanced. And this is why I call Michael Bernard Beckwith my big brother, is he taught me not only to forgive for the sake of myself, he actually taught me how to see all of that shiitake that I had to grow up with as actual fertilizer that helped me grow into this 88% magnificent being that I am now. I like myself 88% of the time. And I know that the way I am could not have been without all of the experiences that I've had in my life, good, bad, and ugly. And the ugliness that came out of my childhood is one of the best tools and chiseling and expansion and growth hormone that I had to really be the teacher that I am, and the speaker that I am, and the creator that I am, and the innovator that I am. I could not be that way. So in effect, I can thank my mom. And it didn't happen right away. When he first told me that, I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I can forgive my mom, but I can't thank her. But I now can actually thank her for the adversity, for the pain, for the hurt, because it chiseled me into I'm more sensitive, and sensitivity is 100% correlated with creativity. So I can thank my mom for being as creative as I am. I can thank her for my resilience. I can thank her for my power, because of the adversity that was there and that I can't change. I can choose to either, I made that decision how many years ago. I blamed her for everything that was wrong in my life. I blamed her for all of the self-hatred and self-loathing and low self-esteem that I had. I blamed her for things not going well. I blamed her for choosing a mate who just continued with that theme of you're fat and you're obese. But it was not her fault. I brought that pain and interpreted in a negative way. I can choose to take all of those negative experiences and reframe it from shiitake into fertilizer. That's my choice. And that's what I did. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today. Because pain in life is mandatory, suffering is optional. Isn't it time that you stop being so angry and triggered by your parents or whoever that person that just knows how to drive you crazy. Yes? How did that hit you? If you agree, I know that I got at least 5 agreements with the thumbs up, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully if you have any comments, please do put it in the comments section. This was a very strong, happy coaching session today. Hopefully, you can take some of those words to heart. If you're still not convinced, that's okay. It is a process. It's a happy 88 process that I actually am in the process of trademarking so that I can train people in how to help people go through this. So that's coming up this year. If you want to be trained in this balance coaching process, Happy 88 Balance, Happiness Coaching with Dr. Marissa, let me know that you're interested, and I will let you know when that's going to start and what that's going to look like and all of that. If you'd like to connect with me as a coach, I have many different kinds of ways. I have a free orientation. That's the last Wednesday night of the month, 7 p.m. It's a Zoom meeting. You can sign up at my website, drmarissa.life. You can also, I have subscriptions where you can do a monthly. I also have group and individual coaching, and I have a do-it-yourself version with some videotapes as well. So all of that's available for you because I want you to be happy 88% of the time and claim your birthright to that end. All right? So Asian Oprah giveaway, the first person to go to drmarissa.life and put in birthright as the keyword will get the free audiobook of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. As well, I am starting up my balanced Tai Chi Gong class that I used to do on the beach. I'll start putting some promotions up now. When I made up my mind, I finally succumbed. I've been asked for 8 months now, when am I starting my classes back up? I actually had like a lot of people doing the classes with me out here on the bluff in Long Beach, and then I moved it to the beach. Come down, start your Saturdays 10 a.m. in the morning. It's only $20, and that's a donation to my nonprofit. So if you're in Southern California, come down. And what else do I want to tell you? Tomorrow we're going to talk about stress because it's Stress Awareness Month and give you some tools on that. And looking on here, I think that's it. I know I'm forgetting something. Sam, did I ask you to remind me about something that I'm forgetting? I can't remember. But I am so grateful that you're all here with me. If you haven't heard my response to did Carol Baskin kill and feed her second husband to the tigers, I did comment on that, I believe 2 shows ago, so you'll have to go look at that if you want. And the answer is no, just so you know. I did go into my interview with her thinking that, but she said some things there. So it's a good interview for you if you really have been snowed by Tiger King into thinking that it is true. They did a really good job making it seem like that happened. And while you're at it, please do go and just put in the search bar Dr. Marissa and Rick O'Berry, which is an amazing interview of The Cove. If you haven't watched The Cove, go to I think it's on Netflix now. It could be Prime, but it's well worth watching. He's the dolphin activist that used to be Flipper's trainer, and he was on my show. It's one of the first ones where I invited a American Sign Language to come and start my new series at that time, which was Radio for our Deaf Community. So that's one that I would encourage you to go and watch and listen for your homework for tomorrow when we come back. I might even show a clip of that tomorrow because I really, really want us to make this planet a better place for our fellow sentient beings called mammals and dolphins and whales and tigers and all. Oh my. So hopefully that will absolutely be incentive for you to do that. All right. I've had so much fun today. I hope you have as well. Sam, anything you want to say? What was the one key thing that you got out of the answer to the question of the day around triggers? Did anything come to you? I'm putting you on the spot again. Hopefully you're there. He may be in the bathroom. If you have an answer to that, please do put it in the chat. I think Dean's still there. If you had any reactions at all to what was said today about forgiveness and your triggers, let me know. But I am coming on the end of the show. I would like to ask you, those of you who have questions, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday. If you would message me, if you have a question and you don't want to come on and you're a little shy, please do just message me and we'll address that question for you the next time we do a Tuesday, Thursday show. All right. And I think that's it for today's show number 677 here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. I hope that you know that you are one of a kind, wonderful, that all 7.3 billion of us on the planet have unique talents, gifts, and ability that are brought about, developed, and chiseled from our experiences in life, even the bad ones. Now go forth and multiply the love that you are. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.